Have you ever wondered why you never finish your tasks before the deadline day? You know how it's like. You have a task, you maybe have a few days or a few weeks to finish it, but you always finish it in the last day possible, the deadline day. If you want to take control over your time, learn how to actually get things done and work smarter and not harder, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button so you'll get notified every time I post a new video. My name is Katya Malets and I have over 4 years of experience in productivity, planning, and time management, and I'm here to help you train your planning muscles so you'll definitely see results in your life and in your business. To emphasize the reason why we always say we don't have time, I want to tell you a story. Let's say that we have two fellow online bosses, boss A and boss B. Also, let's say that each of these online bosses decided that they want to create the same online course as the other one. They both set a date when the course will be live, which is 2 months from now, and they even sold the course to the early birds. So yeah, they kind of have to deliver the course on time. So boss A starts to work on his course right away because he doesn't want to be exhausted when the course is ready, so he can support his customers with full energy. And his friend boss B is partying, he's visiting friends, he's taking his time, and he starts to work on his course in the last 2 weeks, and he's working all day long and all night long. What's interesting about the story is that boss A dedicated 2 whole months for the same amount of job that boss B did in just 2 weeks. And for this case, boss B is going to be a great example of procrastination. So procrastination is reason number 1 for why we never finish our tasks before the deadline. Procrastination, it basically means that you're always delaying or postponing your task. And if you think about it, it's kind of a modern concept because now we have our smartphones that are constantly in our hand and having this huge amount of information in our fingertips that are avoiding us from doing the actual job. For the second reason why we never finish our tasks before the deadline day, I'm going to use the example of boss A. Boss A is a good example of Parkinson Law, which says that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. It basically means that if you'll dedicate for a certain task 2 hours, it will take 2 hours. If you'll dedicate for it 4 hours, it will take 4 hours. You can also see the law on boss B, which took the same amount of work, but instead of doing it for 2 whole months, he did it for 2 weeks. This story can be suited for every task possible, whether you're a student with a paper to write, or you're a hired employee with some tasks from your boss, or you're a freelancer with a client. Let me know in the comments below when you start your task. Is it at the same opportunity you have, or you're pushing it to the minimum time possible before its deadline? Let's get back to our story. So in these 2 cases, these examples are pretty radical, right? You don't want to spend on anything 2 whole months, just as you don't want to be up all day and all night for 2 weeks and just working on the same task. Before we continue to the solution, I want to show you the third reason why we never finish our task before the deadline day. And you can see it over here. This is the creative process diagram. It basically shows us that no matter what, we'll always finish our task on the day or 2 before the deadline day. Doesn't matter if you were working on it for 2 months or for 2 weeks, you'll finish it at the last 2 days. But you can see that there's a certain amount of panic days that are coming before you complete your task. So you're probably wondering how you can fix it. And it's about finding the halfway point. It's not productive spending 2 months or 1 task, just as it's not productive to push all your work in the last 2 weeks. If you're one of those people who work better under pressure, and even if you're not, here's what you're gonna do. You're going to create a false deadline, and you're going to work in the last 2 days before the false deadline just as hard as you'd work on the last 2 days before the actual deadline. That way you can avoid the panic that comes in the end of every creative process, and after your false deadline you can actually live guilt-free, visiting your friends, partying, traveling, and you name it. Also, I recommend you to mark in your calendar a few days after your false deadline, a day when you come back to your task or your job or whatever you've been working on, and just add some fixing and make small changes that will make you feel like this work is actually done. It's kind of fine-tuning. So next time when you're facing a task, just remember these three reasons why you're probably going to say that you didn't have enough time to finish the task before the deadline. And it's Parkinson Law, procrastination, and creative process. Also remember that if you're aware to these reasons, that lack of time becomes just an excuse and not your reality. For more productivity and time management content, mini trainings and tips, you are welcome to follow me on Instagram. You can find the link down below in the description box. That is it for today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment to help me a little bit with the YouTube algorithm. Stay on your game and remember that everything is plannable. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.